Ah. Ah.
Da 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 da. Dear future husband.
Alright, we sound good. Hello, people. It's us Super Game. I'm your host, Younger Bro.
I'm your host, Older Bro.
And we're back playing Katawa Shoujo.
Yes, we are.
We're loading in. We're loading and fast forward.
Well, we'll see about that.
Alright. I believe I read this line.
Probably.
I might be starting to paint differently soon if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? Make that change. She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double take. We stare at each other in silence. Only that faint, only too faint, yes. Only that faint, tangy scent of orange floating between us and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice with the same scene and hold it to her. She takes it from me with her mouth just like the first one. I didn't think it would be like this. I didn't. Don't talk with your mouth full. Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more, and the ensuing silence. I feed Rin the rest of the orange, one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. The third I eat myself, and the rest are left in their plastic bag, which I put on a small desk next to the couch. I feel like there should be a break in there somewhere, but the third I eat myself, and the rest are left in the plastic bag.
Yeah, there should be another comma after a bag.
She stands up. Wasn't she already standing?
I assume she was sitting down while you were doing the oranges.
I don't think she was.
Unclear.
She stands up, apparently, and returns to her painting with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it is completely unreadable. Ren is not readable by any definition. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means. Up, transition time. Couple months fly by. And time marches on. Some days later, she's smoking a cigarette. I spot Rin and Sei standing together in front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. They seem to be talking to each other while Sei has a smoke. Good afternoon. Skip to the end! I say this even though it's not really afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I got caught up doing homework. It's going to be dark soon. Hello there, Hisao. Came to visit the little kitten again. Ren makes a face at the nickname. I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look like a little bit... I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look a little bit like a cat. Okay.
That's kind of a difficult to say sentence.
Yeah. No. Sei turns back to Ren to continue the conversation they were having. So, in other words, everything is going well enough. Oh, sorry. Lung cancer. Ren makes a difficult expression and turns her face away from me for some reason. It's difficult. It's like I'm missing something, but I'll do it. Work hard and it'll be fine. I'm going to start working on my part of the preparations. I need you to do a sales catalog, invitations, decorations, advertisement, and so on. I need the names for your works, and we also need to think up the general theme for the exhibition. They don't have anything like that. I don't even know if I'll paintings really need to have a name?
You don't have to have all of them have a name, but you can't really do a gallery that well if every painting is called Untitled. The other thing is, usually when galleries have untitled paintings, that's not because the artist didn't want to name them. That's usually because they're dead. And they didn't name them. So it's usually like a final few paintings that never had a name, or a few sketches or something like that. But yeah, generally speaking, if you have a piece of art and you finish it and you display it, it must be named.
I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. If I can
not.
Yeah, I know. I'm just weirded out that it's 2 words.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
Cannot.
Well, yeah. Them. The problem isn't that it's 2 words. The problem is that they don't use them, and then said cannot when it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be 1 word. It should be an apostrophe. Can.
Yeah. If I can apostrophe not.
No.
Or parenthesis.
No. Cannot, C-A-N-N-O-T, is not the same as can't. They have 2 different usages in a sentence.
I'm not trying to say can't, but...
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, cannot with no space is wrong in the sentence. Can't is correct.
I mean, can't and 1 word, if I cannot use them, like just the single word and not 2 words, I still don't know why it's 2 words.
Yeah, it should
be 1 word.
Now here's the thing: you can have it be 2 words,
but why? I've never seen it be
because in proper literature, contractions are not proper. You can't use contractions in proper literature, so you're never supposed to use them when it comes to like formal writing. So you'll always see I do not use them. You never see I don't. This is a game, it's not formal literature, so therefore they should be using a contraction here. Because, again, cannot, as 1 word, is not supposed to be used here.
Rin does speak differently, which I'll give him that.
Yes.
But this shouldn't be 2 words.
But the other thing is this sentence is terrible anyways. It shouldn't be, I'm not very good with words. Well, first off, I'm not very good with words, comma, so I don't use them. The next part of that shouldn't be, if I can't use them.
If I can't use them.
It should be when I can avoid it.
I mean, sometimes I have to, but I think this is not a time like that at all. You don't like naming your works? I don't like it. I mean, I don't name my arts when I name mine. Like all the art that I make for the game we were working on, I didn't name them. Well, I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. Ren shakes her head vehemently. It's not like that. It's like if I paint a cloud and call it an octopus, people will think about it differently than if I paint a cloud and call it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I make a painting. It's not a word thing. The only thing would be to come up with new words for everything, but would it help at all? No, I don't think so. Then the paintings would go with just unnamed, number 1, and so on. It's a bit inconvenient, but that's no good. Unnamed means that you just didn't come up with a good name. An unnamed is a name, like the Greek guy with the sheep and all. Say thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow as she keeps looking at Rin's serious face. So you're saying your artwork should be completely without labels? I think that's what I'm saying. Say, let's out a dry laugh. The kind old ladies who smoke too much always seem to end up with. Let's hope your art will never end up in a museum. The curators would explode. She takes a contemplative puff of her cigarette, which has worn down not much more than the bud.
No, but that's correct.
Okay.
That the very end that contains, that doesn't contain plants is called the bud.
I thought it was the bud.
No.
Hmm.
The bud is not tobacco to begin with, and that would be referring to the plant portion.
Okay.
So no.
Then she drops it into an ashtray affixed to the wall next to the door. Then again, it could work. What do you mean? This namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. That's a theme.
Yeah.
It's a good,
Unifying
theme, and something people can grasp onto easily. Allows for a lot of room for interpretation. It gives a good impression. Think about it. All sorts of associations can be made, starting from identity and self-definition, all the way to whatever you want to think about it. We call your exhibition Nameless, and build it on that theme. How does that sound? Ren thinks about this for a while. I'm not sure how Sei managed to get so fired up by Ren's reluctance to apply names to her works. It feels like she might be extrapolating too much, but it's a pretty impressive sounding idea. I don't think it's a good idea.
Bad idea.
Sorry, I don't think it's a bad idea. For what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Yeah, the adults are talking. Shuts up. Say reaches into your...
No, that's
that would be so fucking
having
funny.
an outsider perspective is always
Yes,
good when it comes to art. So it's like I don't think she's gonna go that far.
But that would be so out of character and so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Say reaches into her pocket for another cigarette, lighting it with a neon green butane lighter. Her forehead wrinkles in time, and she rubs it as she appears to furiously think more on this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, but every now and then she takes a sharp drag from the cigarette. Yes, I think this would work out pretty nicely. I'm going to take this as the starting point and work from here. I'm going in to work on this. You go back upstairs and try to find your missing ingredient. I'm sure it'll come to you sooner or later. Ren doesn't reply, so Sei takes one last long pull from her cigarette and drops it in the tray to join with the others of its kind. Gallery owner turns to head back inside, but is stopped by Ren just as she reaches for the door handle. Sei, what is it, kitten? Can I have some cigarettes?
Okay. The funny thing was, I was literally thinking this was gonna happen, and I was like, no way on earth they're gonna actually do that.
I mean, she's already dosed on pills, so...
Well, here's the other thing. She's underage, so no.
She looks at Ren and
no one expects this.
Clearly not having expected such a direct request. Not that I did either. Don't tell your teacher. She stuffs the packet in Ren's pocket along with the neon green lighter. Oh my god.
She's an artist.
The day is already folding into dusk when we climb up the dark stairs.
That's not a joke, by the way, guys. A lot of creative people tend to get extremely stressed, and yeah.
Yes. Leading up to what is now basically Ren's studio. As we go inside, Rin doesn't seem to be able to settle down. She keeps pacing around the room like a caged animal, looking through the skylight at the burgundy-colored dusk.
See, this is to actually get into one of the rare times where I'll get into a little bit of political talk. One of the things I hate is the constant, it's fine to restrict drugs so that kids can't have them. That makes perfect sense to me. One of the things I hate, though, is the constant villainization of drugs in all contexts universally, because it fundamentally misses... people love to villainize anyone who's addicted to any drugs or uses any drugs, and they fundamentally refuse to understand why they do so. For example, for this art director or this artist, they have very high-demand careers, and are very stressed all the time. And drugs are a stress reliever. They're not using them because, oh, I'm addicted to them. They're using them because they provide a benefit to them. And just saying don't use drugs does not solve the underlying problem that they had that made them use drugs. A lot of times we just say don't use drugs, and then we forget that people use them for reasons and provide no other outlets for those reasons.
The problem is a lot of this stuff can just basically kill you.
Yes, but a lot of people, here's the problem. For a lot of people, they don't give a shit about that. They're going to die anyways. You're not an immortal being. They don't care if they die, if they're going to die in 80 years, if they're going to die 10 years sooner. They care about being de-stressed now. And again, looking at it that way, you're causing the same problem. She's stressed. She wants a way to relieve that stress. And no one is giving her another way to do so. So, drugs aren't out. And if you're a Christian, you don't believe in having sex outside of marriage, which is one of the most used stress relievers. So that one's out. And all other avenues, she's not really desirous to do or capable of doing. So what's your alternatives?
Like, I understand you don't want to, like, maybe live to your 80, but I also don't really like to support the idea that you die in your 20s because...
Nobody dies in their 20s due to drugs. Like, that is not a thing. Unless you are allergic to the drugs, in which case you're going to die instantaneously from using it.
The problem with the drugs is if you overuse it to the point where drugs have different effects on you, and one of the main effects of, like, crack...
Well, yeah. I'm not talking illegal drugs right now. I'm talking legal drugs.
Oh.
Like, people villainize anyone who uses alcohol or anyone who uses tobacco. Again, I'll put weed on the side because that's it's technically illegal, but everyone considers it legal.
I don't mind anybody who smokes. Like,
but yeah,
you want to smoke, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying is people will villainize you for doing legal drugs and don't understand why.
And with drinking, yes, drinking is villainized because people are stupid with it.
Yeah. Like, personally, I don't ever want to use alcohol, but that's because my father was an alcoholic. And I have no desire to, A, get drunk for any reason because I don't have positive associations with that activity. And B, I don't want to know if that I am affected by that. So I never drink and never will.
Well, a lot of people don't know about alcohol because it's so heavily villainized, is that if you drink responsibly, it's actually healthy for you.
Yeah, it's a very positive, like, scenario if you're safe and careful with it, as most things are. It's the problem of people often aren't safe and careful with it. And so the solution everyone comes to is, well, we need to protect these people from themselves, so let's just ban it universally. And it's like, but that doesn't solve the fucking problem.
I don't think we could ever ban smoking or drinking because people would riot.
New Zealand's already done that.
Really?
Yeah. They set for every year, they made a law that is for every year from now until whenever it no longer matters, they're increasing the age of buying tobacco by 1 year every year, so that at some point no one will ever be able to buy it.
Wow.
So they have done that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's like and I get that. I understand people being like, that's unhealthy, but
what kills you more, over smoking or over drinking? I think what's more likely to kill you
either one, honestly, because like it depends on what you mean. Either one in immediate high
I'd say
volumes.
Alcohol is worse because that one actually makes your brain not think clearly. And that's why we have drunk driving.
Yeah.
Smoking, honestly,
smoking honestly usually increases your thinking. Like, it's a stimulant. That's why one of the things where if you have like ADHD, a lot of people tend to self-diagnose by using tobacco because it's a stimulant. So it basically replaces their like Ritalin or whatever else that they use for ADHD medications or ADD medications.
But
If you are attention deficit, you probably shouldn't use tobacco as a replacement for your medication, but, like, you can. It's a stimulant. This has been Don't Listen to Two Bros Game Night on Medical Advice. We're not doctors. I'm just pointing out the stupidity of people saying that drugs are legal drugs are universally bad because they don't understand why people use them.
Anyway, the last light of the sun's advance across the sky reflects from the clouds floating over the town, filling every corner of the studio with blazing orange light.
I also want to say, I'm not saying that Rin should be using drugs either. I'm just saying I understand why she is.
Yeah, so painting is going well? She blinks, then relaxes her muscles. I didn't even realize how tensed up she was until now. I haven't painted in 3 days. I'm going in squares.
In squares!
Circles. If you say so.
I like that.
That's so good.
I like that. I'm going in squares. I love that.
I tried doing things a bit differently, but it wasn't working. And now the old way doesn't work either. I need something more. It's not enough like this. Ren's response gives me pause, since as usual I can't exactly understand what she means, although really I shouldn't have expected anything else. She either says nothing at all or too much. Trying to comprehend and follow her train of thought feels like wading through the jungles of
Borneo,
equipped with a wooden spoon and a map of God.
Hokkaido's in Japan. Borneo is not in Japan.
It's annoying how her thoughts are both laid out in plain sight and hidden from view every time she opens her mouth. What more? More? You said that to say as well. A missing ingredient. I think I have to destroy myself.
Okay, well, I was going to ask what chapter we're in. I think I understand what chapter we're in now.
Okay, that sounds unnecessarily grim. What do you mean? Ren's shoulders slump and she turns to face me directly. I have to change. I've tried, but this is not enough yet. I have to destroy myself first, I think. Just to be clear, you're speaking metaphorically, right? Like, learning to paint
main character again? is very like, hold on, I need to make clear you're not about to kill yourself.
Or whatever, so to speak. She shrugs her shoulders as if there's no difference. There is no difference.
I feel like there's a big difference.
So, you're going to start by smoking a cigarette? First impression?
For inspiration.
For inspiration? Maybe. I've never tried this before, have you? No, can't say I have. Still, I'm not really sure if having a smoke is the best starting point. She responds to my words with another nonchalant shrug. I open the cigarette pack and look inside. It's almost full. Smoking is bad for you, but that's the idea here, I guess. Yes, I need to do something. I want to paint. I need something more. So, okay, fine. What's after smoking a cigarette then? How do you intend to destroy yourself? Rin thinks for a split second, averting her gaze like she does when she doesn't want to get distracted. I don't know yet. I'll decide later.
The fact that this works, like, at all.
Rin bends down to pick out a cigarette from the end. She raises her head with one between her lips and turns to me.
How is she planning to do that with her feet?
I don't know. Eyebrows curved into two arcs, challenging me to respond. With a sign of...
The fact that you're just like, fuck it, whatever.
With a sigh of...
You don't understand how her brain works, and you're just like, I don't know.
Fuck it. Whatever. With a sign of resignation, I pick up
the
lighter and raise it to meet the cigarette. I can feel Ren's warm breath against my quivering hand. The flame flickers to life on the third strike of the flint, and I try to aim the dancing fire at the end of the cigarette. An amber-colored glow spreads into the wrapping paper and tobacco as Ren inhales the first smoke. It seems to relax her significantly. To my surprise, she doesn't cough, despite telling me that she's a first-timer. Liar.
She not be lying.
Ren seems to remember that it's hard to blow the smoke out without spitting the cigarette out as well. She quickly sits down on the floor, bringing her foot to her lips like a circus contortionist, and expertly picks the filter between her two toes. I get down on the floor as well. Get down, get down. And we both lie down almost simultaneously while Ren blows a steady stream of smoke towards the dim sky beyond the glass of the skylight, looking after it thoughtfully. Oh, we're about to get that scene.
I'm not sure if this is that scene. Oh, yeah, it is.
Thin haze of steamy blue smoke slithers towards the ceiling in fish-like movements. It blows in
Billows.
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 It billows in the stagnant air of the studio, twisting and turning around its own immaterial body until it dissipates in thin air. What's the word for smoke that looks like that? There is no word for it. We should maybe come up with one. Maybe. Ren takes another quick, experimental drag. It's not very tasty. Feels like inhaling the dust laying on top of a forgotten book about the memories of a dead kingdom.
Now, I believe that sentence should actually be all one long sentence thought.
Do you want to try? My hesitation unintentionally surfaces again, making me freeze in the face of a rather trivial and commonplace challenge. Ren's ability to take everything so coolly is something I'm a bit jealous of. Alright. I wish there was an option to take a drag or not, but whatever.
Not this part of the story.
Whatever, you know what, we're hurting, fuck it.
Yeah.
Taking it from her, I have a drag on it, fighting against the sudden choking feeling in my lungs as they fill with smoke. To my embarrassment, I flail, wheezing and hacking my lungs out. So that's what the scene is, smoking. I feel flustered, but maybe I haven't lost too much face in Ren's eyes. Okay.
This is so fucking weird.
This is so weird.
This is also okay. Now I want to be clear. I want to be clear that in my previous statement about drug use and how sometimes it has beneficial usage and whatever else. I want to be clear that implied that the person using the drugs was capable of using the drugs, and given that Rin is very clearly not capable of using this without assistance, perhaps other avenues should be explored.
Oh my god.
For example, if she really just wants to, like, ruin herself and have her heart racing, just make out with main character, like, every time she needs inspiration. She can accomplish that much easier.
I can see why people view Ren's route or say Ren's route is the worst, because you're making all the worst decisions.
I'm not even sure you are making all the worst decisions, but and I'm not even sure this one is the worst decision, but it's definitely not a great decision.
Yeah.
It's like
smoking cannot be good for your heart. There's no way.
Yeah, when you have a heart condition, that's probably not the best play. So, yeah, you know what? I will put this fully into bad decision territory.
Yeah, like, I will give Ren a pass, because Ren's out there, so...
Yeah.
But main character?
Yeah.
No, I think you should have had a choice here to smoke or not, or to just help her smoke. Yeah. It's less unpleasant on the second try, but she's been smoking that for a while.
Well, then press the dang dialogue button a little bit faster.
Pass the cigarette back to Rin. We're like a pair of budding delinquents in middle school. You are sneaking their first smoke out of sight of their teachers and parents. Well, I suppose it's not like that's exactly what we are. After a while, the cigarette has shrunk most of the way down to the filter. Ren is still looking quietly out of the skylight. With her looking out there, the silence inside the studio seems to deepen even more. Are the cogs of creativity turning behind those eyes right now? Do another one.
I feel like that's probably a bad plan.
I'm mechanically putting those.
Yeah, at this point, you just don't know what you're doing. You're just like, I don't know.
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I mechanically put another cigarette light it and place it on Ren's lips. She takes
I mean,
a few
at most, each of you
puffs
had half.
and moves it awkwardly around with her lips. Not understanding her garbled words, I glance over when it looks like she's having trouble with the cigarette. I pick the cigarette from her lips and place it in mine, abandoning the fact that this is an indirect kiss, common sense, and good reason why I do so. The first one should have been enough for me, but I take another drag, still coughing a little at the unpleasant sensation of smoke invading my respiratory organs. I remember doing something like this before. So you have smoked. Doesn't look like it, though. Nah, lying on your back and looking at the sky with you. Aww. Oh. The sky on the other side of the glass is slowly growing darker. It's unreachably high, even like we are now. Even if the shimmering smoke seems to make it closer.
Again, it's a stimulant, not not actually making you high.
I return the cigarette back to Ren's mouth. It feels bad somehow. The space between us, less than arm's reach, is still there. It's the distance between us, that immeasurably wide chasm of thoughts and feelings that separates us with graver certainly than even light years of physical distance could.
Graver certainty, but whatever.
By saying the right words, there might be a way to make that chasm narrower, even if it's a little. I tried to cross that gap with one big step, but Rin turned me back. I glanced at her out of the corner of my eye. Really trying. Oh boy, there's a lot of smoke in here. You're gonna have the fire alarm go off.
Possibly.
Rin is staring upward through the smoke-filled ceiling and the sky at the darkening sky above us. It's almost like she is sleeping, even though I know she isn't. Her eyes are open as her mouth. Her eyes open as is her mouth. I take the cigarette from Rin before it falls on her cheek. She doesn't react to my touch in any way. So this is where we are now. I wonder if we can ever be closer than this. I take a drag of cigarette and blow a thin stream of smoke upwards. So this leads into the sex. There it is!
There it is.
These indirect kisses are the only things that connect us right now. Good, he did think about this. The taste of Ren's lips on the filter mixed with the ashen taste of the smoke. Her soft lips against my fingers are as I press the cigarette on her mouth, as if she was placing kisses on them. The ash softly falling on the floor between us like snow. As the second cigarette is being finished off, I'm already lightening the third one.
Well, that's bad.
The only thing breaking the stillness of the studio is the inaudible
Well, you remember that thing about doing too much at once? This would be that.
Yeah.
Right now.
I have smoke floating towards the first stars blinking overhead. Light nausea hits me by the fourth.
The fourth or fifth? It should hit you by the second. Fucking hell.
Before long, the shape of the wax.
That's gonna be full nausea. Fucking hell.
Does cigarette have what's that one? Carbon monoxide in it?
Probably.
That's concerning.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's not in it. It's just from burning it, but like, presumably, but.
Yeah, I always wondered why people smoked outside and not indoors. I'm guessing either because they didn't want to set off the fire alarms, but maybe it's because.
Well, it depends on the
this can
situation.
Make you pass out.
Well, it depends on the situation. In like people do in their cars. So, but a lot of situations it's because they're being considerate for other people, or it's the law if you're in a store.
Before long, the shape of the waxing moon appears in the skylight, shedding her wan light down on us. It'll be full moon in a few days. It'd be nice to be able to fly. I flinched after realizing it was my own voice that gave birth to the remark.
Wow, you just had a thin Ren thought.
Yeah, almost
inebriating
smoke and tiredness. You can't. You can.
Well, she is right now.
He is slowly becoming more like Ren. Sometimes I feel like it. Like I can do anything. I wish I felt like that too sometimes. I wonder if she hears the bitterness seeping into my words. The vicious cycle of unrequited feelings is poisoning me.
I'll tell you what's actually poisoning you right now.
Even now. I try to push the grim thoughts aside. My efforts meet with little success as my mind keeps swirling around with ifs and onlys. Watching the moon slowly creeping higher, I realize that a long time has passed since I came here. It sobers me somewhat, but also reminds me of the sad status quo we're in now. It's late. I'd better get back to school. I stand up to leave, but Rin doesn't show any sign of rising up from the floor. She lies inanimate, as though all life had been sapped from her. Little wisps of smoke float around her, memories of the cigarettes we shared. I grasp her by her short and thin arm and try to pull her up. To my surprise, she complies and stands up with some help from me. I notice how little Rin weighs, as if she was made of feathers. I don't know how much does an arm weigh.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay here overnight? I have to. I haven't painted much in 3 days. I have to find out how I can start painting. Maybe the smoke helps. Just take a break. That's no good. I have to do it. If I can't paint anymore, I will be destroyed for real. Maybe you're just burnt out. You've been working pretty hard. That would be bad. I wonder if this is it for me. I wanted to see how far I can go. Maybe this is it. The end. Ooh. You just have to get your... You just have artist's block. It's not a big deal. That's the word for when you can't paint. That's the word for when you can't paint, right? I've had that before. Never like this, though. I pick up a brush, then I want to put it down right away. And then I do. 3 days. It's like I've forgotten how to paint. I didn't think that was possible. Like, more impossible than Nami growing wings and a tail. You need a break. I mean, I get that you're trying to go deeper inside yourself for your paintings, but it's really not that healthy to stay inside your own head for so long. I glance at the night sky visible through the window. A couple of stars are weakly twinkling above the city. They remind me of something. This is how you remind me
of what I really am.
I used to do. Once upon a time, it feels so horribly long ago. Come on, let's go outside. Where? Just for a walk. I'll show you my secret place. I don't know if it works in this town, but we can try. In any case, you need a break. And probably something to eat. Come on. You need to get your thoughts away from this for a while. When they're troubled, most people escape from their unhappy lives into a world of fantasy. I did that before, and still do today. Reading books endlessly. Immersing myself in their world rather than my own. Ren's escape should be the other way around, though out of her inner world and into the real. I was so mad today. Not that I was out all day.
Yeah.
But when I got home, I was supposed to work on quota today.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought I was going to work on the game I'm playing on the side for, me time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I should have been working on quota. But
Yep.
I was so out of it when I came home, so I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ren doesn't look happy about this, but I ignore her. At least she's somewhat cooperative, walking after me as we head down the stairs and then down the sidewalk. Night is falling upon the town. It's a gentle summer night, smelling of flowers and hot asphalt. Oh my god, the city looks even worse at night. I thought it looked bad in the day. Like this looks terrible. It's almost like someone took a picture of a town at night and they had a filter on it. Like
That's
they had a film.
the point. That is what they're intending to do. They want it to be blurred out. So like that's
okay, if they want it to be blurred, they should dial it back a little bit. Like this is eye-soaring.
I mean, I think it looks fine.
When I stare at these lights for too long, it hurts my eyes. The sunlight is replaced by shining neon colors and blend yellow streets. Do you know what my favorite color is? The air is easy to breathe, as if the air pressure was noticeably lighter than usual.
Again, neon colors. As in the colors are neon, not neon is a color.
Older bro hates that song because it's wrong.
It is.
But it's still a good song.
It'd be a better song if it wasn't fucking wrong.
Feeling of daytime is the hot summer. The hot summer has
It's a
lasted
hot girl summer.
long into the evening and night. I grab Rin by her sleeve. Sleeve, like I've seen Emmy do, and to my surprise, she obediently follows. The pale street lights fight against the all-enveloping darkness as we walk together, the guide and the guided, although neither knows the destination. But it doesn't matter. Do you feel like yourself again, Ren? Because this is what you did to me. This is the one moment where the usual silences that have become a ritual between me and Ren at last fit perfectly. We walk side by side, choosing directions on impulse or inspiration. Sometimes we find ourselves back at the street we'd already seen once or twice. Sometimes we find new streets. I just don't know how you... which do you feel safer walking at night? The streets or in, like, a forest?
I can at least see what's coming in a city. It's harder to see what's coming in a forest. But there's less likely to be people.
I agree. All of them look asleep. Ren doesn't ask where we're going. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she knows I don't have an answer. The silence of the night isn't scary. After all, the lights drive most of it away. The air grows cooler as the moon progresses along its journey in the cloudless sky. Few cars roam the streets at this hour, and even fewer people are on the sidewalk. The apparent lack of nocturnal life is somehow befitting of this place. There are around the clock shops and cafes. Sure.
Cafes.
There are
around the clock. One word.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what the sentence was saying. Now I know.
Yeah.
There are around the clock shops and cafes. I've never seen around the clock used as dashes.
Yeah, that I think that's the normal way to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sure, but the atmosphere is like the town itself is slumbering. A town that sleeps 8 hours a day. The city that never sleeps, though. The city I grew up in, bathed in the electric glow of a million light bulbs, never slept.
Oh, you're born in Vegas?
Vegas or New York. I've seen it for myself. It's not the first time I've done this.
Or, no, it's Japan. Probably Tokyo.
Yeah. It happened one of the first times I was home alone. Patent pending. Both of my parents had business trips that never could cancel, so they deemed me old enough to survive 2 days on my own. Their misplaced trust in me did not go to waste as I proceeded to spend the entire night out walking around the city. Even afterward, I couldn't say what made me stay downtown longer than I intended after school. I didn't feel like going home, so I stayed through all I can think about. I stayed through the evening and eventually through the entire night. I walked long,
Concentric.
concentric circles around a landmark chosen at random. For some reason, the nighttime city felt fascinating, so I walked its streets. At every intersection, it was possible to choose your direction at random because they all lead nowhere. The aimless wandering made me see things differently. I'll be able to do the same for Rin. We stopped to buy some hot coffee and snacks from a vending machine and then locate a bench where we sit down to eat. There's no time in the night of the town, so we spend an unknown amount of it just sitting there drinking beer, talking God, amen, observing the stillness of the usually vivid townscape. Still, it's getting very late and soon it'll be getting very early. So, is this it? Hearing Ren's voice surprises me. She doesn't sound bored. Rather, her tone is inquisitive, uncertain as to why I dragged her out here, yet curious to find out the answer. Yeah. Have you ever been out all night? It's like a different world. The remark sends her thinking for a while, looking around as if she was looking for something. The wisps of light reflecting from the corners of her eyes are suddenly very sharp. It's not a different world. It's the same, just asleep. What do you think this town is dreaming of? Maybe something like car sheep or building sheep. Why are dreams always about sheep? I've never seen a sheep-related dream that I can remember. That's because you don't dream about sheep. What you do is you count sheep while thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like the idea is
but if you count sheep, shouldn't the dream start with sheep?
You'd think, but no, it doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way. Never works that way.
What it is, it's almost like you telling yourself stories, except sheep is easiest because
I prefer to tell myself stories.
I also prefer to tell myself stories. All right. Do different towns dream of different things?
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Probably. How could they not? Answer half joking, half spurring her on. For the first time tonight, it seems like a bit of Ren's life has returned to her. She doesn't continue her list of rhetorical questions, though instead she leans back a little and looks up at the moon traveling above the town. She took the moon over Georgia. The cool breeze blowing between the buildings seemed to steal the conversation away before it even really begins. It's too bad. It looked like Rin would get out of her blue mood. I wish I could somehow know the right things to say, but I realize I can't do that the way I am now. I'm too far apart from Rin. I haven't really managed to crack her open. Okay, she's just too complicated. It's like she's open to everything, equally disinterested in everything from the outset. In truth, she's locked tighter than anyone else I know, even myself. Sometimes she locks herself inside the inner world, shutting everything else out. Other times her thoughts flow freely from her mind, but not organized in any fashion that would make them intelligible to the rest of the world. What comes out in the form of paintings I can't interpret. To me, it's just a sea of colors and shapes, not a message. She's too far away. I know it was a bad idea to try to reach for her in the way I did, but I can't help liking her because she's too good.
Yeah.
like, seriously, her way of thinking is so fucking hilarious. I look at the fingers of my right hand, trying to remember what Ren's lips felt like again. Okay, now that's going a bit far. Do you ever feel like you're trying to reach out for something that's impossible to reach? Real questions.
Yeah.
Ren turns her gaze to me, tilting her head quizzically. I wonder if she understands the meaning of my own rhetorical question or not. Either way, I know I can manage to catch her attention just by speaking aloud sometimes. All the time. At least I think so. That's what painting feels like. A lot of time. Or all the time. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling that I can really paint what I want. Sometimes it feels like it's just another shadow of me. Like a mirror that doesn't work right. You should be a poet. Put that in a poem.
It's just another part of me.
Like talking. Maybe. When I was little, I didn't really have friends. Maybe it's the same now. The only things I liked were pens and paints. They were the only things that understood me. Now it feels like that is going away too. Change really is a scary thing. I think she's an independent painter. I don't think she does well under pressure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if...
The problem is, painting is a... The problem is, if you actually want to go into painting, painting requires you to kind of submit to what others need. Because that's the point. Every painter is hired for something. People don't just paint what they want when they want, for whatever reason. They paint at request. At least professionally. So...
Yeah, and I don't like that as an idea. I'd probably be an independent painter. I would like to paint what I want when I want.
Yeah.
And
but the problem is you can't make money painting what you want when you want, because it's people make the people who pay you are the ones saying paint this.
Well, that's why things like DeviantArt exists.
No, that's not. DeviantArt is professional. On Deviant, like, you can put stuff up on DeviantArt, but the people who pay you are the people who say paint this. That has been and will always be how artists work. Because if you want money, you have to take their request, and their request says paint this.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, there's just no way around it.
I wish I could understand you. She looks at me. I can never...
Melancholically,
roused by my thoughts materializing as a word spoken aloud. Me too. Whether she wished for me to understand her to understand me, or her to understand herself, I never ask, or do I find out. I see her eyes searching for mine, serious and cryptic as they are. I'm not getting any explanation from here. Don't worry about it. I will.
Oh.
Small hints of a smile are wavering on her lips. When she's like this, it makes me feel that maybe there's hope for us after all. We get along so well for being so different. It's just that we never really get along precisely because we are so different. Maybe it was Rin's passionate approach to her own art exhibition, or perhaps my own careless words it was. But last week was different from usual. The small friction between us seems to be somewhat volatile, but at least we know... at least we now seem to be back to normal, relatively speaking. 2 hours later, we stand up from the bench and pick yet another direction in which to go. The wee hours of night slowly pass by as we measure the streets of the town, one step at a time. We are finally at ease. At ease, soldier! Not minding the rare, lone passerby, the eerie darkness, each other ourselves. Ren's step seems lighter, like the heavy air around her is letting go a little. It makes me feel happy. We don't talk, save for the single remarks that are spoken to the night of the town and never answered. The details jump into the eye instead of being the usual blur they are during... What is going on with your mouse? During the day. Yeah, like, guys, older bro's mouse is stuttering, like, in a downward direction. That's so weird. Yeah, it's when I lift up your mouse.
Yeah, I would not do that.
As the sky above the town changes from deep dark blue to gray, I know that our night is soon ending. It's almost morning. Rin looks up too and nods at me. It's true, the coming light of morning is creeping through the sky, climbing higher by the minute. It feels surreal. The sun won't come up for a while, but I get the feeling that the end of this night really is here and now. Here and now. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
Should we head back? Rin nods again, twice. Her hair waving in the breeze. That seems to be heralding the coming dawn. Abruptly, she takes off, taking the lead in this walkabout on which I'd brought her. It seems she really is in a better mood. This, too, makes me feel happy. Rin's navigational skills are probably not much better than mine, but we eventually find ourselves in front of Say's place. So you guys don't have a good compass.
Nope.
I don't know if this was any help. I did this once before, but it was more because of a stupid impulse, or maybe restlessness back then. Maybe this was a silly idea and didn't really help you at all. She just nods as an answer. So do you know how you're going to destroy yourself now? I have some ideas. I don't want to see you for a while. Don't come and see me. Do nothing. Do something else. Her
ultimatum
catches me completely off guard. What the hell? What's that about? You said before that you didn't mind. I mind now. It's just for a while. I have to do this alone. I don't like that. Why? I don't want it to go like this. Why? I just don't want to feel this distance between you and me. She tilts her head like a bird, her eyes narrowing a little as she thinks. I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't think he's gonna know how to respond to that either.
And you can touch me. What?
Yeah.
You can touch me if you want. You'd feel better, right?
I don't
I don't know what this is.
I don't think anyone knows what this is. What?
Please ask the right questions here, Sam. I don't know. That should be a question mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Could we go inside at least?
Cut to commercial.
Cut to commercial.
Where do you want me to touch you? Oh, thank God. Now boobs are left here. Other than that, you can decide.
That is not all the options.
Hold up!
Hold on, that's not all the options. There's at least 2 other places you should probably be saying no.
I don't know how to react. I don't.
Just.
We have to keep going. Fine. I raise my hand hesitantly, even though I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Her eyes tell me that she's not going to explain. 1,000 thoughts race through my head as I slowly bring my hand closer to Ren's face and press 3 fingers against her pale cheek. Ren feels soft and cold. Ooh. She closes her eyes, and she's all I see. On contact, and visibly relaxes. I can feel her soft breathing, her muscles releasing tension as my fingertip caress her cheek. I'm wondering if she couldn't paint because she was thinking about you.
Don't know. Maybe. It's also, there's 2 options. Either that's what happened, or B, the thing she's doing to destroy herself is cutting herself off from all people.
Ooh.
Either way, it fits.
Yes. She doesn't rest her head against my palm or anything else you'd expect a girl to do in this sort of situation. In fact, she hasn't reacted at all, save for those now shut eyes. Once I draw my hand, she opens them again. It might be just an illusion created by my timid morning sunlight playing with my eyes, but Rin looks like she's holding back a smile. This is the problem with our relationship. Half the time I have no idea what is going on, and the other half I just fail to understand why things are going on like they are. I think she's just fucking with you.
I mean, maybe.
As usual, I'm not going to get an explanation. Rin merely takes a step towards the door. See you later. Then she disappears from my reach for an undefined period of time. And it is that time. Yeah, yep. I had to get through that. I was like, hold on.
You know what? I think that makes a lot of sense.
So, guys, that's going to be it for this intense episode of Katawa Shoujo. So, like and subscribe to YouTube and Twitch. Comment to your videos. We do read them. Follow on Twitch, and we'll see you on the next Katawa Shoujo. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.